last episode, Robotics Club's old enemy, Kimijima, did indeed make his reappearance on the night of the Super Gun Festival here on Tanegashima, Wazaika Festival, which is basically, the Super Festival, and has declared that he is now ushering in a completely different experiment. One that we are going to find out soon enough tomorrow exactly what that so-called experiment entails. Which is definitely not good for the island or the people of Tanegashima, or the world for that matter. So we need to do something, and fast. Not too long after Kimijima disappeared from the sky, the Robotics Club members gathered at the festival office headquarters. And as a matter of course, I tagged along. Of course you do, Daru. Yeah. Call it a hunch, but I would say that is why you came here in the first place. Precisely, because this might have arisen.
愛理さん、大丈夫ですか?
Yeah, Iris, still more than a little shaken at the reappearance of Kimijima. She has every reason to be shaken.
はい。
excuse me. So she says, but Iritan doesn't look very well. That's because she's not Daru. Maybe she has some sort of connection to Kimijima. Oh, you have no idea. But now's not really the time. Now's really not the time to be asking for deeds. Too true, Daru. And so we shan't, for now.
しかし、どうしたものですかね?
I think it was pretty obvious there what happened. We'll just go over it one more time.
どうもこうも、相手は君島公だよ。戦うしかない。
It may very well come to that because after all, it was the events of 6 months ago.
戦うってどうやって?
That being the case, though, Kaito does have a point. This moment in time, we're completely clueless as to Ko's methodology and, well, his tactics this time around.
そりゃ、あいつの言う通りに起動スイッチを探して。そもそも彼の目的は何なんでしょう?
Yeah, nice, hit the nail on the head. I mean, he did say that his game was to have us deactivate all of the geotags via IUO that we could find. And if we miss even one, we, in his words, we lose. That being said, It's never easy. It's never that simple. With the likes of him.
言ってたじゃん、世界を混沌に陥れるって。それって狂気だよ。完全に狂気に取りつかれた人のやることだよ。
But unfortunately, Akio, we're going to have to wait and see what unfolds before we can actually do anything. And yeah, that means we have no choice but to act on the defensive rather than the offensive. And also getting a sense of deja vu here, because yeah, on the basis that I'm remembering what happened the last time we acted based on the things he said and did.
12秒を打つ
And Daru's automatic comment there.
あ、失礼
Yeah, now's really not the time. Accurate as it is, in Kimijima's case, Daru, it's more than just a phase. I blurted it out of habit.
橋田さんはどう思います？
Yeah, you're probably going to have to come clean at some point, Daru. You can't leave them in the dark forever.
え、僕なんで僕に聞くん
Basically because you were here, and because you were involved.
だってこの中じゃアメ社長に次いで橋田さんが一番年長者でしょ。それにナエさんだって頼れる人だって言ってたし。
I don't know about that last part. Well, that is true, and yet in some cases it isn't. Daru can be reliable when it counts, but sometimes that's not always the case.
いやー、それほどでも
Honestly, I'd rather not talk about too much about Kimijima right now. You might have to.
今のところゲームをしてるみたいな感じにも思えるね
That's because we pretty much are Kimijima''s game.
ゲームですか？
もちろんだからって言ってたことが嘘ってことにはなんないけどとりあえずは現状を楽しもうとしてるみたいに僕には思えたお
Yeah.
確かにチャンスをあげようなんて前の君島コーナー言わないかもしれない。
Well, I would actually question that there, Kaito. Because after all, even though he tried to eventually stop us from preventing Project A2 from happening, even last time, Kimijima, he was just toying with us. Yeah, he had every possible chance himself to put an end to the Robotics Club's meddling once and for all. And yet he never actually did. It was almost as if despite the fact that he was trying to succeed, that he was going about it in a almost half-hearted way, if I'm being honest. That isn't to say that his actions weren't malicious or nefarious, far from it, in fact. But, yeah. Even back then, Kimijima actually, yeah.
それに雰囲気も以前の君島コートが違う気がする。
I wouldn't, well, that's not, again, given what I just said, that's not the inference I would have said. But then again, keeping in mind the fact that his artificial self is, yeah, not as perfect as he would have liked when he was alive, given the fact that it's incomplete.
でもさ、そう装ってるって可能性もあるんじゃない？
How's that different from when he was alive, Akio?
予想？
そう、チャンスとか言いながら希望を与えておいて、最後の最後で残念でしたなんてことも。
That's an excellent point.
確かにあの人ならやりかねないかも。
And yet, this time around, we can't afford to act rashly based upon that anymore, even if it's true. After all, yeah, look at what happened with the Kimijima reports. Unfortunately, because of that, someone who was fairly close to Kaito Yashio ended up being a casualty. Let's leave it at that.
ゲームだろうがなんだろうが挑まれたからには受けて立つしかないって。
But challenge it, yeah, it's as Akio says, challenge us he did. And despite our reservations, we cannot ignore it.
確かに僕たちには選択権はないわけですし。
Yeah, pretty much. These left to his ambitions, the festival will be ruined and all the folks who made the trip here will have done it for nothing.
これはもう祭りを中止するしか。
Even Frau is being serious here, and that's a worrying sign.
それはダメ。
理由は産業でよろ。
And now the old Frau is back. In 3 lines, please. Net slang used in the 2000s. Short for I'm lazy. Can you explain it in 3 lines, please? Similar connotation to TLDR. Too long. Didn't read. That didn't take long at all.
このお祭りのためにたくさんの人が準備してきたんだよ。今からやめるなんてそんなのダメだよ。ねえ、ジュン。
That is true.
今回のお祭りは町おこしの一環でもありますし、できればなんとか開催したいけど。
Of course, yeah, given the fact that the reason why the festival was being held in the first place is now kind of been undone, not to mention Kimijima's display. Yeah, how will everyone else feel?
幸いなのは今日会場にいた人たちがみんなあれを祭りのデモンストレーションの一環だって思ってくれたことですね。
Is that lucky, Nai? Well, it might be in our favor, I guess. But I say that loosely because yeah, that's what Kimijima might want us to think, or them to think, or whatever. Once Kimijima vanished, we all braced ourselves for mass panic. But instead, the people at the festival assumed this was all just an attraction and got even more pumped. Nonetheless, you can't just cancel the festival after working so hard to prepare for it. We also can't dismiss Kimijima's words. Which means...
やっぱり結論は一つしかないね。
All members of the Robotics Club glance at one another and nod.
ま、ここに居合わせたのも何かの縁つうことで手伝うを。
Glad you're volunteering, Daru.
橋田さん、いいんですか？
こういう時はお願いしましょう。橋田さんがついていてくれるなら心強いです。
After all, that is pretty much the reason why he's here.
それじゃあお願いします。
任せなさい。
This is about Kimijima after all. Oh, look who it is.
さすがはわしの見込んだロボ部のみんなじゃ。
Glad you're taking this all so well and seriously. Mr. Candy smiles with delight at our decision.
それじゃあみんなよろしく頼んだぞ。わしらの手で祭りを成功に導くんじゃ。
Of course you are.
よいよいき。
Yoiba Iki. Let's get along in the Tanigashima dialect. So isn't that the name of the other, or one of the other festivals on Tanigashima Island? I might be mistaken. Or maybe not. Who knows? As we step outside of the headquarters, the excitement from the fireworks show is still alive and well. For now. Tourist voices filled with fun and joy circulate the venue. Almost as if what happened before didn't happen. To think we have 2 weeks left.
ありがとうございます、橋田さん。
気にすんなって。
It's the least you
でも
せっかくみんな楽しそうにしてるんだ。このみんなの笑顔を守りたいだろ。
橋田さん。
Yeah, I'm kind of a badass. Not all the time though, Daru. It has to be said. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes, very infrequently, you act like the responsible individual. it must be so hot right now. Or, yeah. Tempted to take back those words. I'm sure if my wife and sweet daughter saw me right now, they'd fall in love with me all over again. Yeah, don't get too full of yourself.
それにしてもまさかあの人が復活するなんて。
Yeah, this is definitely affecting Irie.
愛梨ちゃん。
違うんです。もちろん怖くないって言ったら嘘になりますけど、それよりもどうしてかなって気になって。
Yeah. Irie and Kimijima have a history. Let's leave it at that.
確かに。それにもう一つ気になることもあります。
And pray tell what might that be, Sabaru?
もう一つって？
君島公はどうやって復活したんでしょうか。
どういうこと？
だって半年前のあの時、君島公は確かに消滅したはずですよね。僕たちの手によって。
Technically speaking, we eliminated a digital construct of Kimijima. As for the man himself, in flesh and blood, that dubious honor rests in the hands of another person. We will not speak of that for now. Sabaru Kyun, deep in thought, turns around and looks at Frau Tan.
フルゴーリはこういうのに詳しいだろう。どう思う？
Yeah. Frau's expertise on the matter is, well, going to be useful, but this is even above her abilities.
そんなの簡単。どこかにバックアップがあった。ただそれだけ。
Yeah. In most cases, the simplest solution usually turns out to be the correct one. Yeah.
ま、それしかないよね。
だとしても、そのバックアップされたプログラムが起動したのはどうしてだ？
Well, Kimijima was an inventor. He's probably got various facilities hidden around the island, perhaps. Some that we might not have uncovered during our last encounters, and others around the world, maybe.
可能性は2つ。時間が来ると自動的に起動するようにあらかじめ設定されてたか、あるいは。
まあまあいいんじゃね。理由はどうあれ、今はまず君島氏の目的を阻止するのが先決じゃん。
Now we should, but we shouldn't be too hasty about that either.
橋田さんの言う通りだよ。うちらがやるべきことは君島公の新たな野望を打ち砕くこと。そのためには起動スイッチを探してお祭りを成功に導く。
It's going to be easier said than done.
というわけで明日から早速。
Starting tomorrow, when? Starting tomorrow, how?
だからアキちゃんはバイトでしょ。
And there's also that.
カイ、橋田さん、お願い。あいつの野望を絶対に阻止して。
Do our best.
おう
Can't say I saw this coming, but whatever. Is
どうしたんですか、橋田さん。なんだか嬉しそう。
こうやってみんなで協力して何かするのってあの頃を思い出すなーってね。
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
あの頃ですか。なるほど。
The good old days. A whole decade ago.
つうことはこうなるのもシュタインズゲートの選択ってやつかな。
Now there is a phrase that would have never, ever been uttered on your lips once upon a time, Daru. And yet I'm glad to hear it. It's been a while since I felt vibes like these. Let's have some fun with this. Also, missed my opportunity to say nice chunibu, bro, so I just said it now. Piece of this island rests on the shoulders, Festival Phase 2 Stratosphere Capacitor, or Stratopause Capacitor. Last night, I said that I'd have fun with this. And you did. That was a lie.
あちー。
Daru, you never change. Even after all this time. The sunlight is intense as is, but the heat reflection from the concrete makes it even worse. By the time I got to the festival venue, I was already drenched in sweat. Had it even been 10 minutes?
ほら、しっかりしてください。祭りの準備とジオタグの捜索、やることは山ほどあるんですから。
ヤシオ君は朝早くから元気ね。
昨日のことを考えると、のんきにもしていられないでしょ。
Too true. Yashio-kun says with a cool face. I guess the locals are accustomed to this heat.
にしても予想以上に人がいるね。
I figured not many people would come out in this heat, but I was greatly mistaken. Surprise, surprise. The Tanegashima Gun Festival is no joke. And ironically, the incident last night may have spurred the crowd on even more. Maybe so. And that is where we're going to leave this episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes DaSH, and when we return, we have quite the fetch quest ahead of us. And then some. As always, until next we meet.